Alright, well we're back with part 3 to end the first episode of the Cross Examiner. Dave has one more question to answer me and we will wrap it up.
Well,
Shoot.
it took a while to piece this together, but with the recent, it's not really recent, but the phenomenon of games becoming a lot more expensive and games becoming shorter. What is your take on this phenomena? And example is the game you're recently about to play next, or not next, but in a few games, it's Homefront.
I'm playing it next actually.
Oh, you are?
Yep.
And how it's only 3 hours long, yet paying $60 for it doesn't really justify. So what do you think about it?
Yeah, well I think you're exactly right. I think, well A, you're seeing the games get more expensive because obviously the technology is getting more expensive, and with these games being on Blu-ray discs and stuff like that, and the vast amount of technology. See, I can provide a long-ass answer because we have a whole fucking video, so.
They only really rose from PS2 to PS3 about $10, didn't they?
Yeah, $10,
yeah,
but, but also, games before PS2 were even less expensive. So,
right, PS1 was like 35 or 40.
As the technology is improving,
sure,
the games are becoming more expensive, obviously, because it takes more to run these huge graphics and stuff, which is, off on a tangent, but I'm kind of concerned about how expensive games are going to be in the future, but they're already too expensive for me.
Something I'm going to add later.
But, yeah, with these games getting shorter, it's like, it's kind of absurd because, it really is ripping it off. And like you said with Homefront, I mean, the game's like 4 hours long, the campaign, and they've already, announced the Homefront 2. I mean, they announced it, like the week Homefront came out, and it's like...
It's ridiculous.
It's like, what the hell? I mean, you mean you're going to charge us $60 for a game that's 4 hours long that you already know you're making a sequel to?
It's like they're trying to pump it out.
Yeah, and you were just too lazy to combine the two games, to make it a decent-sized game. And it's really interesting because you have two complete sides of the spectrum. You've got, like we've been talking about, Homefront, a 4-hour campaign, or a Killzone, which is like 5 or 6. And then you've got games like Fallout, which, if you do everything in the game, you can play up to 80 hours on it, on one playthrough, and then there's multiple options, so you want to go back and do another playthrough of 80 hours, and the funny thing is they're the same price. So you're like, well, what the hell? I mean, think about the value you're getting with, a game like Fallout New Vegas. I mean,
exactly.
If you just think about entertainment prices, I mean, okay, if you put 60 hours into Fallout, you're paying $1 an hour for entertainment. Man, it doesn't get any better than that. You know what I mean? I mean, you pay $10 now to go see an hour-and-a-half movie, But yeah, when you're paying, when you go on the flip side and say if a game's, like 4 hours long, well then, you're paying a hell of a lot more money per hour, you know what I mean? You're paying, close to, like, just under $20 an hour for something like that, and that's absurd.
It is.
So, what do I think of it? Honestly, I think game developers are getting extremely lazy.
That's what I was going to say.
I think that they're taking advantage of the fact that people are going to buy these games, and they basically know that they're going to make sequels. They know they're going to make DLCs. That's another phenomenon. Is these game companies can get away with releasing these games that are extremely short, charging $60 for it, and then screwing you over by releasing DLCs, which should have been probably included with the first game to begin with, and then they charge you extra for the DLC.
Like $15 Call of Duty DLC?
$15 Call of Duty maps for 4 maps, or,
is ridiculous.
It's just, okay, we're going crazy outside. 1:30 in the morning, but, yeah, so I don't know, that's a big reason I have GameFly. I mean, games are just too expensive nowadays, and you could argue, well, these games have the multiplayer thing, and that's replayability.
But if you have to pay for it,
right? So, but yeah, I'm not going to go drop $60 on a 4-hour campaign game. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
So I think people are getting lazy. I think that they're cutting their games short because they can push them out for $60, and then they can make a sequel. And charge another $60 on top, and then DLCs and charge even more money on top. So, but at the end of the day, I think it's all business.
It seems like like EA and Activision are making the shorter games. Like Like they're trying to pump out more games, get more money.
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, if you,
Okay.
I mean, Dead Space 2 was published by EA, and that game was 10 hours long.
That's true.
Crisis 2 was 10 hours long. It was a shitty game, but you know, at the same time, at least they tried to make the game long enough, unsuccessfully, but they tried to make it long enough so you get, you know, enough bang for your buck, as well as a multiplayer experience. So, I don't know. It seems really kind of across the board that people are making short games and stuff like that. But
it seems that if you go back in history, games used to be longer.
Yeah, it's different. It's different now. Certainly, I mean, the FPS genre has exploded with these new consoles, and those are the ones that usually get ripped off.
Yeah, like genres of games sometimes have shorter. Like, you know, like I know you don't know, like Zelda, like Twilight Princess has over 40 hours of gameplay, which is ridiculous. And
yeah.
You know,
and then you talk about, well, different genres like a fighting game. Well, there's no specific time limit on that.
Exactly.
You just play and play and play and play that. So
until you're tired of it.
You know, you can play that for an entire year, and then it's only $60. Or like a sports game like Madden.
Also, it doesn't really, like, a game can be 6 hours, but if the replay value is great, then it's not as bad.
Exactly. But
that's another thing that I call, you know, replay value.
Yeah, and you know, going back to an earlier question, you know, I'm going to talk about, you know, well, exactly. Oh, anybody pay $60 for a game that was 6 hours long? They can pay $60 for a Fallout that's 80 hours. And the deal is, well, people are saying, okay, well, here's how we're going to get you to buy your games brand new. We're not going to let you play online unless you buy the games brand new or buy a $10 online code. So it's, I mean, you know, these game developers and publishers aren't stupid. They know how to take advantage of the market, and
it's a shame that they have.
Yeah, but you know, it's business,
yeah,
and they know that they're going to get money out of it. And to be completely honest, it's annoying as hell. But at the same time, you really can't blame these guys for just being business savvy. And I know that that's going to draw fire, but it's coming from me, the consumer. I mean, you know, if you watch my online. My first episode of Voodoo's Thoughts, when I talked about the online codes, and I said that I actually was behind the game publishers and actually agreed with them doing this. It's, you know, it's hard to, you know, you can sit here and you can be pissed off and grumble about it. Of course, nobody's happy. Just because I agree with them doesn't mean I'm happy that now, you know, I can't play online for half these games. But it's hard to sit there and argue with these guys' logic, because, you know, they probably are to some extent losing a bunch of sales to these GameFlies and Blockbuster.
Well, Blockbuster's kind of going down the tube.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, rental service in general, and they're losing money, and they're trying to find a way to get more of it. And, you know, they know the consumer's going to keep buying it, and, you know, I can see that there's a line between being business savvy and being just plain evil about it and taking advantage of it. But this just seems to be,
they're trying to,
you know, business savvy to an extent for some things. I think that, you know, making a 4-hour long game like Homefront is absurd.
Yeah.
And that is not business savvy. That's being a cop-out. And being lazy and not wanting to put any time or effort into your game. That's ripping people off.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty long-winded answer, but
that was good.
That's that.
Is that it?
I don't know. Any last things that came up during it that you thought of?
I mean, I don't really have anything. I was going to add, I had one more question, but I'll save that till another one if we do this again. I'm sure we will.
I'm sure we will. I enjoyed it.
I
thought it went well.
Yeah, I thought it went well too.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, the two of us sitting and asking each other questions, seeing each other's opinions about things going on. We actually didn't have any questions that weren't related to gaming today, but in the future I'm sure we will.
We'll expand it out.
Maybe about music is a big one, or about general culture in general, some things that are going on and stuff like that. So that'll do it for the first episode of The Cross Examiner. I'm Voodoo 51292.
And I'm Dave.
That's Dave, Blueface54, Blueface45, whatever the hell you want to call him. That's him. And until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and be sure to check out all the stuff available on my channel, as well as hop over to Dave's. I know he's got some concert videos up there. He's also got an unboxing of Dead Space 2 Collector's Edition, and some other cool stuff over there. So be sure to go check them out. And for now,
We are friggin' out, so
See you
peace.
later.